Hello, my dear friends, my dear audiences, dear fellow Californians. Welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow is my name. With the show for many years, I've been having this good time. And this is an opportunity for me to meet with all kinds of people from all directions, including our leaders, wonderful leaders. Today is one of the moments, and I'm getting excited that I'm being visited by Honorable Kurt Hagman, the former assemblyman for 55th District of California for 6 wonderful years. And after turning out, he never took a respite. He went on, get elected for the county supervisor of San Bernardino County. Now he is holding the vice chair position for San Bernardino County. Sir, Honorable Kurt Hagman, welcome to the show.
Great to be back, Jack. How are you doing?
Oh, well, everything is as usual, except I'm busier than before for the same amount of money. I'm kidding.
Probably the same amount we do. We're staying very busy in the west end of San Bernardino, yes.
Very good. All right. I've been hearing, of course, ever since you took office in San Bernardino County, you seem to be busier than the old days when you were at the assembly. Was that a true or false?
Well, it's a different kind of busy. I think in the legislature you have a lot of policy debates, and you can't really see what you're producing because you're voting no and yes on bills, but until years later. In fact, one of my bills just took effect this year that I passed 5 years ago, and it's very exciting to have computer programming training in high school. We talked about that a long time ago. For the first time offered in high school as a core class. First time we changed the core classes since 1800s in California. So it's it's, I forgot about it and came effect this year. So it's a different kind of busy. Okay. You know, here I have the largest county in the United States. I get to travel quite a bit within my county, and there's a lot going on. So yes, it stays busy, but more operational side versus
it is more on the doer side. You're actually ending up with the doers yourself.
Yes.
Right. And it's more amazingly that you created some laws. Now you're working for the outcome of the laws.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Different perspective.
Very good. And speaking of the doer side, there are lots to do. I've heard over the news about San Bernardino County. It's a big expansion. Somebody even called it a very golden opportunity. So what's the overall picture of San Bernardino County?
You got to put it in perspective. San Bernardino County is the largest geographical county in the United States. It's larger than 8 states physically size-wise. It's actually fit Taiwan inside San Bernardino County as far as geographic. We're larger than 9 states in population, just our county. But we're very diverse. We have the deserts, we have lakes, we have forests, we have tall mountains, and we have the valleys and industrial zones, and obviously we have our airports, so we have 6, 7 airports now in the county. So we have a lot going on inside the county, but it is the growth place for California, and California has always been the driver for the rest of the United States. So, we have 1/8 the population in California. We don't think much about San Bernardino County because we're dwarfed by its neighbor, Los Angeles County, that is much larger in population. But we are larger ourselves. We're bigger than most major cities you hear of, and we have a lot going on. So we're in good shape. We're growing. There's not a lot more of infill left in Los Angeles. Not a lot of infill left in the Orange County Valleys area. So basically, we're pushing into the Inland Empire. And we have a lot of housing starts, a lot of business starting.
Geographically, you have a larger territory, and by diversity, you are more diverse with even different piece of land, different nature of land, though, even including some deserts, right?
Sure.
And that's known to the public. What is not known or getting to be known by the public is that with the addition of the airport at the Independence, that brings more opportunities, make your life easier.
Well, I think it's just the timing. It's better to be lucky than good. When I was with Chino Hills.
Lucky than good.
Yes, you started interviewing me back in the days when I was in Chino Hills. And it was a time when Chino Hills came alive, and I was able to be part of a council and be the mayor of the time we built everything. It's just the right timing. Right now, it's the right timing for Ontario Airport as well. A couple things going on. First of all, the diversity of our businesses and residents have grown quite a bit. There's a huge influx of Asian Americans coming into my district. A lot of new businesses. We're the transportation hub, logistics hub for the United States already, which makes a natural trading ally. The rest of the airports are full. John Wayne, LAX. The rest of the airports can't take any more airplanes. Okay, so, and we just gained local control of the airport back, where the City of Ontario and the County of San Bernardino are joint partners to run it, and we're very motivated to do what we need to do to make it a world first-class airport. So you already have the nexus of the residents growing, the business growing, regardless of the airport. Then you throw a nice opportunity in the airport.
And now with the independence of the airport thing.
It's like hitting jackpot,
yeah,
777.
It's a jackpot, right?
Yes.
And speaking of a jackpot though, I recall during the early days when you were at the Chino Hills City Council, you and I once had a nice conversation talking about to think about the box, to think outside the box. And I noticed for the 6 years, glorious years, the assembly, you applied that into your practice, into the legislature, so that makes yourself a kind of go-between in two parties. Regardless of whatever party, let's do something, right?
Yes.
Let's do something. And from that point on, now you got a whole job in your own hand, doing your own county though. You're even better off position.
Well, I can't do it all. No one can do it all. We have to have good partners. My job is to facilitate great partnerships between government and private entities, and from private entities to private entities, and needs and surpluses, and it's just basically get to know people, build those relationships up, and try to bring them together. But hopefully do it in different, more smarter ways than we have in the past in government. So the airport's a great opportunity. One of the first things I did when I came on San Bernardino County is I started an international trade advisory committee for us. Our economic department never really did much outside the county. And we knew we had all these assets, and I kind of go, no, there's a whole world out there we have to go meet. So we started advisory county, bringing international business members to give us advice. And this trip we just took a couple weeks ago was the first this official delegation for myself and my economic development and representatives from the Ontario Airport that we went together and stopped in several places, met a lot of people. It was a fantastic success. So we need to do more of those. We need to advertise where San Bernardino is and what the assets we are, because there's a lot of people who want to do business in North America, and they want to do business in California, and we're the best partnership for that.
I remember that during lots of sessions when you and I sit here talking about our economy, you kind of emphasize on the fact of creating jobs. The jobs. So with the picture that you lay out for the development of San Bernardino County, though, you are obviously talking about creating lots of jobs, are you?
Tens of thousands of jobs, correct.
Tens of thousands of jobs.
Yeah, we already have one project in Chino that's going to bring 6,500 jobs. I have several lined up for Ontario that will be over 10,000. I mean, and these are all in the last 6 months that are committed and signed. So yeah, it's a very good, healthy growth area right now for us.
I see. With the job creation, of course, the living standards are going to be uplifted, and the housing too. You put yourself into lots of consideration about it?
Well, we're growing pretty rapidly on housing. Just in Ontario alone, they're building 45,000 new homes right now. So it's 150,000 new residents just in Ontario.
You're talking about individual homes?
Individual homes.
Not apartments?
Individual homes
not
just
units,
in Ontario,
right?
no. And obviously there's apartment buildings and stuff like that as well. Our problem is to keep up with demand. We're very far behind on demand on new construction for our growth.
I see.
Okay, so if you look at historically, hopefully the housing demand keeps up the population. Because of the crash we had, 6, 8, 9 years ago, builders are slow to come back to start their projects. But the population kept growing. So now we have a housing shortage, especially in the valley. So it's really driving demands. We need to build more. And hopefully our local governments can work together with our builders and developers and be friendly to them and help them get them started.
Of course,
quicker.
to the end of the day, you're always talking about a situation that you got a right man doing the right job, right? So you need, you're talking about leadership. And I believe the 5 of you would lead San Bernardino to a very healthy
We're in a good position right now. So.
Right? And you being the vice chair, of course, you're doing your job. Excellent job. My dear audience, today is one of the very, very lucky moments. For me, I would say lucky the better, right? To sit with my good friend, a long time friend, Honorable Kurt Hagman. I have an honor him because He's been on lots of glorious positions, such as Assemblyman of California. Now gets his hands on busy with the development of San Bernardino County. We're sharing with him about his great thought, Think Out of the Box. That's how I named the show today. Oh, by the way, that's the title of today. Okay. And to see how we can get either involved with the development of San Bernardino County or at least benefit from. All right, stay with us. Hello, dear folks, my dear fellow Californians, okay, call us San Bernardinians. Welcome back to the show. Today with me is my good friend, Honorable Kurt Hackman, former Assemblyman of California, 55th District, and now the County Supervisor of San Bernardino County. And he holds the Vice Chair position for San Bernardino County. So, welcome, sir, to the show. I know that I heard that recently you came back from China and Taiwan for a big business trip. What was that about, and who came along with it?
We took a small delegation. I took a member of my staff, my chief of staff. I took a member of our county economic development, and I took my CEO from our airport, Ontario Airport, to go. We had a couple of consultants as well with us too. We went to several places I've been going over the last few years. So I have a good relationship. You know, California's sister state is Jiangsu in China.
Jiangsu.
Yeah, and I've been going there. You know, started as assembly member to many of the cities within there.
I see.
And when I came aboard the county, we had no formal sister relationships with anybody. So over the last couple of years, after making some local contacts with the government, we decided to put that into stone on this trip. So we now, our first official sister city relationship is with Wuxi, out of Jiangsu.
Wuxi.
Yes, about an hour and a half out of
city
Shanghai.
To city?
Yeah, well, city to county, because we're about roughly.
City to county,
actually, Wuxi's still bigger than us.
Good.
And then in Taiwan, their city of Taiwan, where the airport is, obviously. And Wuxi in Ontario is about the same. Industrial, manufacturing, have an airport. They're trying to grow. Taiwan and Taiwan is our second sister city, so it's all one trip. And we're able to sign both those documents and make those official. So now San Bernardino County has two official sister relationships, both with airport as hubs, both with logistics and manufacturing and high-tech industries and those type of things to grow upon. And we have some great relationships with her now. So that was our basis of going, but we also added in obviously a lot of interest from airports and shipping. So we met with, I can tell you what names we have. Obviously I can't tell you much on the dealings on it, but you know, China Eastern is one we met, China Post. We met with Wagon, was a shipping company. Eva Air, China Airlines.
Eva Air, China.
A few others that are all very interested in our growing airport. When we look at the demographics for those who fly out of LAX to Asia, and we have like geographical areas around the airport called catchment areas. So those who buy in the valley here, the majority come from our catchment area. The majority are much closer to the Ontario airport. 60 to 70% of those from Southern California who fly of LAX live closer to Ontario. You know, San Gabriel Valley and you know, Inland Empire all live closer. So we're hoping we could share that data to the airlines and say, hey, start flying out of Ontario. We'll give you a better deal. It'll be much more convenient to go into LAX. So
lots of people say that you guys are working on the direct flight from Ontario Airport to several cities in China.
Yes.
And I even heard something about Changsha.
I don't have any exact names I could give you yet. The only formal agreement we have, which I have not announced yet, so I'm not going to do it in a show. Sorry. But I do have I do have a large, very large existing tour group that comes from several cities. In fact, 15 to 20 cities in China. We're going to be starting in June, coming to Ontario.
Put me on one of the Virgin flight.
Yes. But we're also working on many domestic flights too. A lot of big names we'll have by this summer. We're in negotiations with several airlines, and that say, hey, we want to come. It's working out all the different paperwork you got to do to make it happen.
Course,
and then you also have to do this several months in advance to let your passengers know you're not flying here, you're flying here now.
Here's what I look at San Bernardino, correct me if I'm wrong. Speaking for, say, category by category, you pick up, say, road conditions. If you compare road condition of San Bernardino County with the East LA area or downtown LA area, you'll see we have lots of smoother surface, a lot less of
just a lot less traffic. Let's put it that way.
Right?
There's
lots of traffic, smoother,
yeah,
thing like
we
that.
We have less traffic over area. Yeah, if you look at the national worst places to drive, out of the top 25 places nationally, 12 are in Los Angeles and West LA. 12 are on 405.
Now, I can testify that.
Yeah, so we have the worst traffic on the West End. So anybody basically who lives or work around downtown LA east would be better off going on.
I remember 33 years ago when I first landed in this country, I wrote back to my brother. I said, driving on the U.S. freeways or the straight, my biggest problem is that I fall asleep too easy because the road was so smooth, you heard nothing, shh, like that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, no, right? However, in San Bernardino County, because I used to go Wang Xiaobo, my friend, on Gravestone Avenue. When I go that section, I feel that I'm picking up the old impression about the United States driving conditions. What I'm saying is that with that as a foundation for you to bring all new development on top, you guys kind of take a higher elevation to fly
we
off.
will be the new everything. I mean, the
Okay,
Inland
new
Empire
everything.
is growing. Okay, LA County is maxed out. So obviously, all the new construction, all the new freeways, all the new, we got to rebuild our airport.
Everything new.
Everything's going to be new, and everything's going to be nicer, just like anything else. As you move to a new house, things are newer, more modern.
Yeah.
And same thing with our freeways, and we have to rebuild our airport, which we're going to be due, and we're going to. But we have brand new freeways that you don't have in Los Angeles, so and new infrastructure everywhere.
Just educate a little bit to my audience. I believe that they deserve to be informed, right? Things are like you buy a house, and that when the house is bought, and you think about, I need the curtains, and then I need the lawns, front and backyard, and it goes on and on and on and on, and the item after item you keep adding on. With the county though, are you looking at the same situation that you're adding on projects?
There's always something going on in county. We have a very healthy budget, being one of the largest counties. So we have capital improvements going all the time. We have to, and then we also sit on, the partnership with the cities and stuff for transportation hubs and education and healthcare, and we basically are the doers of the area of all different levels of government. So there's always lots of money and projects and operations going all the time. We always want more. We always want new stuff, but we prioritize the best we can and try to get it done as efficiently as we can.
Of course, it's quite easily understood that with a local business, you're talking about you yourself being the boss of yourself, right? You don't have to follow any instructions, whatever, so far and so forth. And I would like to wrap this segment by when we come back, I would like to find out, if possible, what are the major opportunities that this has brought, the situation in the overall picture has brought to investors, including foreign investors. Do you reject or do you take foreign money?
Absolutely.
So on and so forth.
Perfect.
Can we please? All right, good. We'll be right back. Thank you. Hello, dear folks, my wonderful audience, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the exciting moment when seeing a picture of development. You're talking about everything is new, right? You marry somebody brand new, in a house brand new, in a city brand new, even the chauffeurs who drive on a brand new freeway, a brand new surface road. Okay, anyway. With me today is my good friend, a long time friend. Friend not only for me, a friend for EDI, a friend for the whole community, the Honorable Kurt Hackman, former Assemblyman for California 55th District, now the Vice Chair of San Bernardino County and the San Bernardino County Supervisor, needed to say. With the picture, it's a lovely picture. It's a very kind of an enticing picture of development. Looking into the future, though, of course, you're your own boss for your own county development, but do you take investors' money? And among investors, do you include foreign investors, please?
Well, let's kind of put things in perspective for those who don't understand government. So the county, we are the operators of all the government programs. Okay, so from courts to jails to maintain the roads and freeways and sewers and lights. The cities are our partners. So within the corporate area, we give those duties, a lot of those to the cities. We still keep some of the duties. One of the biggest functions that government has is to zone and to set what kind of buildings go where, to master plan the community.
Okay, the master plan.
Yeah, but generally it's private developers that come in and say, I want to build an office building here, I want to build apartments here, I want to build housing here. Now, government does have some low housing private-public partnerships, and we do some of those things.
Prerequisites.
Well, we do some buildings ourselves for that. Like I have 1,600 buildings in the county, but they're all for my employees. They're not, too many for housing and stuff like that.
I see.
But we do have a mission to house the homeless. So we will build some small things with some public dollars.
By proportion.
Yes. But most of the major development is done by private entity. Now, when you go to things like our airport that we're going to redevelop and some other larger projects like that, yes, there's absolutely room for private-public partnerships where we'll bring in foreign or domestic capital, or we'll say like an airport, hey, you want to build this terminal? We're going to take your money to build your terminal. We're going to be partners with you on the return, or a hotel or a parking structure.
Okay.
Those are more government type of projects that we may stay control of the land and stuff, but take private money into as partnership, or we could say we're going to let you build it, but we're going to lease it back to you a certain amount. You're going to build it for us, or we'll build it and let you run it. There's all different type of possibilities there. So there's a lot of those out there. Not as many as what's going on in the public and the private sector, because there's lots of building going on. So when you look at the overall economy, you need everything, because you have, obviously building trades are way up. But then after you build something, like I said, you need all this interior trades and the exterior products, and then you need the commercial areas. Then you need the stores for the people who move in to shop from, and it just goes on and on and on.
Or schools, or even jails you mentioned about one time?
Everything, yes.
All right.
So it is the fastest growth area in the United States, collectively, or San Bernardino Riverside. And so there's a lot of opportunities for those who want to start a new business, to want to come in and give it a shot. It's a good time to do it.
In other words, investor money is needed.
Yes.
Is needed, right? And do the investors include foreign investors?
Sure. We're talking
By
about
what
last
kind of
trip.
extent?
Well, in different ways. Like I'm talking to some of the people I met on this last trip, are airlines that have holding companies, and they wanted to possibly help us build our new terminal or revamp some of our old terminals. So it's something they want a piece of the terminal so they could be the first one on the block in Ontario. And we got to work through those business things. So generally, the private-public partnership may be on public buildings, not on private buildings. And we look at different opportunities.
I see. Just to what extent you're talking about private money and the government money? Is there a portion, like say 50-50 or 40-60?
No, it's whatever business deal you want to work out. I can use all foreign money and a government idea. Like I'm looking at a lot of new projects too that are more infrastructure. We can build our own power plants. So I'll maybe think about building the solar field out there. Okay, maybe we give out the land, and they, the investor builds it, makes most of the money, we get a percentage of it for licensing. We're doing all the smart government stuff. A lot of virtual government. It's very exciting how we're revolutionizing everything. So a lot of technologies have to come in, from sensors to LED sensing lights to cameras to face detectors. I mean, all these different kind of things that you see we take for granted in the private sector, we don't use in the government sector yet. Remote
that means you're
offices.
You're quite open as to how you do the projects
Well, yeah. So
proposals.
We may say we need this network, but we'll pay a leasing rate to use it, but you can sell it off to private sector as well, or we'll pay a fee for this service if you invest in money in the infrastructure to build it.
Oh, I see.
For example, I'm building a remote courthouse in Barstow, so the judge could be in San Bernardino. The people could be listening to the judge in Barstow, and the judge doesn't have to drive back anymore, or those people don't have to drive down to San Bernardino.
Oh.
Real simple things, but it takes technology to do this. It takes the infrastructure.
It takes lots of thinking. Take lots of thinking out of the box, because we never thought about a remote court.
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of those type of things: remote doctor appearances, remote devices to keep people keep them out of the hospital, to make sure we're monitoring from afar. Smart cities include lights, traffic signals, traffic flow, all these kind of fun things.
Okay, good. But in between domestic and foreign investors or investment, though, do you have a certain portion of the ideal cut, whatever recommended cut?
No.
No?
It's whatever we work out.
Just we're totally free to work it out. Very good. And of course, you're talking about as big as a terminal of runways or something like that, as small as maybe a shop front, something like that. So is there a range that, say, dollar amount could be as much as, could be as little as?
No, it just depends. Like on the airport, I can conceivably see us doing $4 or $5 billion worth of investment on the airport alone. Would I go out and get $1 million to do something? Probably not, because we have a pretty good sized budget ourselves. And we're looking for long-term business relationships for that investment. We're not looking for a handout, or are we trying to guarantee anything? We're looking for what makes sense smart-wise. Like I may have property. In fact, I do have property in my district that I don't want to sell, but I could do a long-term lease with somebody. So someone could build warehouse or commercial on it for 60 years, but I want to be a business partner to get ongoing money to help with my budget issues versus selling it to get one-time money, which doesn't help me year after year. It only helps in 1 year. So there's different ways to do things.
Okay. Thank you for saying that, because I believe my audience are, until now, quite informed about total freedom of the county development. That regardless of the size of money, of course, I have $2. Well, nobody wants my $2. You have to be at least sizable, right? You can talk about 2 million or 2 billion in between, or 5 million or 5 billion in between, something like that. With me today is my good friend. I'm so glad he's here. You're very busy. You're busier than before. And you used to be Kurt, please. All right, like that. And now I have to go through all the processes.
You still call me.
Lots of people, I still do.
Yes.
Lots of people have to look at your schedule, and you yourself have to look at your own schedule, right? I'm so glad that finally we made it. Finally we meet again. And of course, he's not busy for nothing. He's busy for something very good. My good friend, Honorable Kurt Hagman, former Assemblyman of California 55th District, and the Vice Chair of San Bernardino County Supervisor. Let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll keep finding more about what we can expect versus his traditional concept of think after the box. Let's see what we can do. Stay with us, please. Hello, my fellow Americans, fellow Californians. Welcome back to the show. Jack Zhao on the East-West Show with lots of pride. Today, I feel even more excited because I have my good friend, long-time and trustworthy friend, to come here visit me with bringing along with him is a beautiful, gigantic plan of the San Bernardino County development. San Bernardino is such a county that it is the largest by territory in the United States, and by population, and it is sometimes 9 times of the small states. And even by size, you can put Taiwan into San Bernardino County. Well, we're not monopolizing anything. We're just saying by geographically, talking about the size, right? Okay, anyway. My good friend, Honorable Kurt Hagman, Assemblyman, former Assemblyman of California, 55th District, is now the one of the 5 players leading that beautiful county. Now, with lots of said, we are often in a state that we find ourselves caught. For example, my contact in China, they have tons of money burning holes in the pocket. And I have personal friends, they have money that they want to find a home for, right? So, and they say, tell me what you can do, what you need. I said, I don't know what they need. And then when I come to you, you might say, hey, tell me how much they have. So it looks like it needs ice breaking here. Where to and how to, please?
Well, and I'm also familiar how hard it is to get some of those dollars out of China right now too. But when we look at the, for one example is Ontario Airport, we're going to be rebuilding our terminals, building a new terminal, parking structures. We're trying to do those partnership with China Shipping to come over, and so they could build some of their own warehousing, and so those type of things. It's been an airport that's been kind of neglected over the last 20 or 30 years because Los Angeles owned it before we got it, and they haven't put a lot of money into it. So there's a lot of opportunities there. We have a gold line that we want to connect from Los Angeles County to Ontario, so that's a bit of a big project. Like I was talking about the last segment, a lot of technology improvements. I'm very excited about it. I'm the chair.
Technology improvement.
Yeah, I'm the chair for Southern California, represent all the cities and counties, and I'm on the national committee as well. But some of the fun things you could do with bringing technology, which makes government more accessible to people, at the same time cheaper for us to deliver the services.
I see.
You just have to start thinking what through each one of the fields of government. So I was talking to my building and planning department. Okay, and being a large geographical county, you can imagine when someone calls from the high desert and says, I need my water tank looked at for the permit sign off. I got to send an inspector from San Bernardino County 3 hours to drive up for 3 minutes at that person's house and 3 hours back. It basically takes a whole day to sign off for a permit. So I started a program that you can call in to get your permit signed off via a smartphone. You FaceTime it, you say, I'm ready. My inspector goes on the phone, they show whatever they're trying to sign off. They say, hold it there, okay. My inspector takes a picture of it, a screenshot, saves in a digital file and signs off digitally. Now you could do, instead of one, we could do hundreds in a day.
Okay. Good.
Education, again, students live far and wide from some of our colleges. We could offer the college via live feed, the classrooms that they may not have at their school, they may have halfway around the county, somewhere, or even West LA or at UCLA, they could take a class remotely. So education advances, we could do that.
Education, okay.
We're actually setting up wireless networks for schools because a lot of the students in the less fortunate area don't have access to the internet at home. So the school districts want to set up their own cellular Wi-Fi systems. So it's a whole new investment into, they have their own bandwidth, so it doesn't compete with our cell phones and stuff. They can set it up to have Wi-Fi for their students' computers. And a lot of the schools are going to computers both for the students in the classroom and at home. But if they take it home, they don't have any Wi-Fi, it's kind of useless. So this is a way for them to offer that direct service into the school computers. So the school districts are doing that. In the medical fields, like I say, I'm doing digital health records, I'm doing digital monitoring, so all of the body devices that may check your glucose level, your blood pressure level, your heart rate, all go to smart computers. So if someone, even to remind you to take your medicine. One of the things I learned on the State Assembly Committee was 75% of us don't take our prescriptions until you're supposed to. Because you don't take your prescriptions, you have to go see the doctor more, you have to go see the hospital more, which costs us money more.
Time, money, everything.
So if we could sit there and remind them, so we're building I would like to build a smartwatch that says, did you take your pill this morning? Yes, green, red, no, and that feeds back to the computer. If they don't respond, I can have the computer automatically call. Remind them, hey, you're on your medicine.
I see.
Preventative stuff like that. So we're dealing, I sit on the 7th largest public healthcare system in the United States.
I see.
And we have some dollars to spend on research and development to try to keep people in their home versus them calling my paramedics and having them take them to the emergency room because they're not taking care of themselves. So a lot of wireless body devices monitoring that could go into smart computers to feed into our call center so we can make sure we stay on top of them. We're doing remote doctor visits now. So I don't have enough providers in some of my remote areas. So I could have an office, a guy who wants to live in Ontario, but he really doesn't want to go in the desert, doesn't want to move to Barstow. But we can say build an office up there, see patients one day a week, and then you can do your follow-ups with the virtual camera system.
All right.
So you can do your follow-up visits with your smart devices and not physically have to be there. Again, you can have a nurse.
All they need is a local pharmacy. That's it.
Yeah, they have all that there.
And doctor can prescribe remotely.
And all the rest of it.
And then they go to next door pharmacy and get it filled.
Correct.
All right.
We're doing the same thing for my district attorneys. I'm having them do remote court appearances in courtrooms, so they don't have to drive to my 7 different county courts that I have. So you just go through each level of government, and the way to bring technology into our services to make us much more efficient.
Altogether, you're talking about a very super strong cyber support.
Yes.
Right?
Very, very high-end
Has to be faultless cyber support.
Yeah, and then we need a lot of, obviously, as more we grow into our digital age, we need more securities, more, make sure we're not hacked and things.
Okay.
But just think about city sensors. Remember, we operate pretty much everything between the city and the county. Every device on ground, when that's pumping water, clarifying water, testing it, make sure it's okay. The sewer system, electrical system, the water system, all these things that we have to monitor.
Fire inspections.
Yeah, how many sprinklers work, when the sprinklers get broken, when do we turn them on, when we turn them off, when we turn the pumps on, when we turn the pumps off. All these things that can be done smartly now versus sending a body there or not knowing something's broken until someone reports it. We could put all the sensors on these things. What's kind of fascinating for me is one of the bills I helped write when I was in the legislature was for cities to buy the street lights in their cities. And those for energy conservation, to switch them to LEDs to save money.
Oh, amazing.
But now, while my cities are buying them for energy savings, now they become real estate. These lights are becoming real estate because the newer technology, the radio transmitters, the sensors, all these different things that everybody wants to use, from cameras to traffic monitoring to even the gas company, electric company monitoring their remote meters, are going to the tops of these streetlights. So now you become landlords. If you buy your lights back, you save money on the energy, but then you go rent out your space on these lights for all these new devices.
I see.
So there's a lot of those type of things going on, and not to mention the software systems and integration of all these systems. But it's going to be a long haul. It's going to be 10, 15 years and billions and billions and billions of dollars spent on this before we get through it all.
I'm super glad that I named the show today to think out of the box by applying your old quote. And that's really thinking out of the box.
And just looking at everything we do in a new way.
Yeah, everything we do in a new way, to a new town, everything's new, and with a picture of a development that's almost endless.
It is.
Right?
It is. It's going to be a great time being a part of that. So I'm very honored to represent those residents of San Bernardino County who allowed me the opportunity to do this.
Very good. Are you running for re-election somewhere somehow?
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that.
18 months away.
That I believe you have a landslide smooth support. Not that much. We're talking about you're looking into the future of San Bernardino County, and you are almost there. You can see. Okay, now you are only as much as you think, if you're lucky, right? Most of the cases you are even only half where you think yourself. Now suppose you think half. Where are you? You're 25%, right? You have to go, you have to kind of pitch high, right? Okay, very good. And I'm so glad that I have Mr. Kurt Hagman not only coming here, but as a good friend of mine coming here to share his great ideology of a development, city county government development, talking about San Bernardino County with a huge plan. We're running over time. I really wish that we have 100 minutes in an hour. Well, anyway, there is, anyway, I have to call off. And to my audience, thank you very much. And to my friend, Honorable Kurt Hagman, thank you very much.